Hello everyone, welcome back to Game Droid and welcome back to Modern Skyblock 3. I have been sleeping a lot. I had to restart the mod pack at one point, but you can see I've gone down from 90% radiation all the way down to 59. In the meantime, I've been upgrading my altar, which we saw me work on in the last time. I also got myself a better blood orb. I'm now on a master blood orb. Upgraded it with a few more capacity orbs down at the bottom, just to get myself the master blood orb. I haven't really done anything in Galacticraft other than make another 2 electric compressors and start compressing the plates I'm going to need when I want to go to tier 4, which is Desh. We've got meteoric iron and we've got carbon and mercury plates. Now, one thing I did notice was I was just looking through recipes and things. I also upgraded one of these to tier 2, by the way. I upgraded one of these to tier 2, gave it some speed upgrades just so I can start bringing in stuff a little bit faster. But one thing I did notice while I was looking through recipes is if I have magnesium, just normal magnesium. Now normally if I smelt this up, it becomes magnesium ingots from nuclear craft, which are not really very useful. But if I was to very quickly just hammer my way through these, which is not particularly difficult to do when you've got mouse keys enabled. You can kind of hammer the keys very, very fast, and you might be able to hear me smashing my keyboard in the background. Now I have these magnesium rocky chunks, and if I put these into here and smelt them up, what I get out is space magnesium instead of normal magnesium. And if I were to make space magnesium in the electric compressors into magnesium plating, I could, using magnesium plating, get up to thermal protection tier 5. Because this just requires 2 magnesium plates. It requires 24 plus 4, so it requires 28 magnesium plates. That's not going to be difficult at all. In fact, it's going to be so not difficult that I've actually done some magnesium plates already. So if I make all of these, and I may have already done a few of the fabrics in the background. There we go. I can now use tier 4 thermal protections, which is really very cheap indeed. It wanted me to go up to carbon ones, but tier 4 thermal protections. Now, the tier 3 spacesuit, tier 3, this guy, which is my next up spacesuit, would provide me with better radiation resistance. The issue is I need palladium, and palladium is only available from Jupiter. I've had a look through all the possible kind of like, where can I get palladium dust? Can I get native palladium clusters? Can I get crushed palladium? Can I get palladium rocky chunks? But it all comes back to I need to go to Jupiter. So we've got our radiation down, and that means we need to go up onto Mercury, and we need to see if we can find a dungeon. The other thing I did while I was waiting was I made myself a bunch of foods that I haven't eaten yet, because we do still get HP if we eat foods we haven't eaten before. We've still got plenty of foods to eat that we haven't eaten before, and we can still get like HP bonuses and things. I did some chicken breeding, I did some blood magic, I did some environmental tech, but it was all just kind of like sorting things out in the background. The chicken breeding has gotten me through most of the chickens, but also it's gotten me some 10-10-10 chickens, so I've added in Yellorium and Signalum into our 10-10-10s, as well as Diamond. But we're going to pop up onto Mercury, and then I'm going to start looking for a dungeon, basically. We do have our setup on Mercury, our mining setup, which should have mined out a lot of blocks. I did make it an resident NG cell, and I also gave it 8 and 8 upgrades, so 7 speed upgrades and 8 NG upgrades. So there we go, we've gotten a lot of carbon and mercury, so I don't think we're going to have a problem of kind of like running out of carbon or mercury anytime soon. That can all go into storage. Now, I need to find a dungeon. And one of the issues is that these asteroid craters where the asteroids are going to make it a little bit harder for me to find a dungeon. But, fingers crossed, I also need to find potash. That's the other thing I need to find. is potash. We did get some of the infected water, which we are apparently going to need later on. I need to make clean water, and I need clean water to make the decontamination, the anti-rad serum. So I'm going to go looking for a dungeon, and I will come back once we have found one. Hello, just popping back in because I haven't found a dungeon, but I did end up finding a chasm that goes all the way down to the bottom of the world, and at the bottom of the world is potash. So I found out where to get potash at least. Potash is acquired from the very bottom of the world. And it doesn't seem to be too rare once you get down to the bottom of the world. But yeah, I did just find a naturally spawned, ridiculously deep chasm and came down here just to have a little peek, because this chasm is kind of bottomed out at bedrock, which is quite impressive. So I have found a way of getting potash, so I just need to realise that potash is right at the bottom of the world. That's not a problem. So what I will do is I'll continue looking for a dungeon, and when I find one, I will come back. Hello everyone, and we're back, and I have found a Mercury dungeon. Now, fingers crossed, this has a... now, first things first, let's put away solid meteoric iron. We've also been picking up some dash, and let's get out our powered up bow and our depowered quiver. And we can also top up our food. We've been slowly eating our way through these things. Cake. Nom 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 nom. Oh, hello. You are a magma slime. I don't feel you're going to be particularly threatening, considering, you know, I have knockback on. I have the enhanced knockback on this bow, so. Come on, down you go. Just pin him in the corner. I wonder how hard he hits. Oh my god, he hits super hard. And then he's going to split up into pieces, I presume. I'm going to power up the quiver, actually. Oh no. He died, but he didn't drop a key. That's concerning. Why didn't he drop a key? He also died, like, weirdly early. Is that supposed to happen? Tell you what, I'm gonna tag this as a failed dungeon, and if we have to, we'll come back and I'll cheat in a key. I don't think it's supposed to fail like that. I think he is just supposed to drop a key, but maybe not. Maybe I did something wrong by using an explosive or something like that. So I will eat up my food, and I will go looking for another dungeon. These dungeons are really hard to spot on this surface, by the way. We just pop into JEI. The dungeon entrance is that little tiny thing there. So spotting these dungeon entrances, even in topographic mode, is a little bit difficult. I mean, without the grid on, it's perhaps a tiny bit more obvious, but I don't think there have been any other obvious dungeon entrances. So I will continue looking for dungeons, and I will be back later. Hello everyone, and welcome back, and we just hit a second dungeon. Our radiation is very, very, very high, which is a bit of a risk, but we're going to turn off explosions on that so that we don't accidentally explode anything important. If there's another chest, I'm just going to ignore it, because we are running out of time. We are cutting this extremely close radiation-wise. I know I said I was going to ignore it, but I didn't, because I'm a twit. I want all the loots. I want the loots. Jeez, I don't care about. I just want a dungeon key. Come on, down, 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 down. So this guy hits like a truck even through decent armor. Although I'm not wearing my overpowered dragon skin armor or anything like that. Yeah, I think like last time something weird happened and he kind of died without actually dying. I don't know if maybe I got too far away from him or... because we were opposite ends of the room. We definitely died this time. And did drop a dungeon key this time. Excellent. So now let's see if we can grab a Geiger counter. Wonderful. Not really what I was hoping for their game. I tell you what, I am going to cheat because I think it was unfair that failed dungeon did not give me a key. I am actually going to give myself a key. I went into creative mode earlier just to check on whether I could give myself a key or not. Key. I want a tier 4 dungeon key. There we go, tier 4 rocket was in this one. I should have guessed that much. So yeah, I need to basically kind of pay my penance and go fight another one of those, but the issue with having to sleep 20 times in between because of radiation, it's a bit silly. However, we should be able to solve that now, because if I go to decontamination, this guy, who reduces radiation level by 10 instead of by 5. Mercury batteries are just compressed mercury. We can do that fine. The lapis blocks, the filter is easy. The two things that are harder, the volcanic rock and the the volcanic ingot and the iodized salt. Iodized salt is made with a liquid crystal rock from Xerxes, and volcanic is made from volcanic rock from Jupiter. We have both Xerxes and Jupiter. Xerxes is tier 4, Jupiter is tier 4. So theoretically, we can get to both Xerxes and Jupiter, we can get volcanic ingots, and we can get iron salt, so we can get a decontamination chamber. If I look up the tier 3 spacesuit, this guy requires palladium, which comes from Jupiter as well. Now to make the tier 4 rocket, which is the one we need, we're going to need tier 4 nose cone, which is 3 tier 4 plates. We're going to need 10 tier 4 plates, tier 4 fins, which is more tier 4 plates, and titanium ingots. Titanium's easy enough to get. Tier 4 plates and tier 4 plates. Otherwise, exactly the same recipe. Tier 4 plates are a tier 3 plate and compressed carbon and compressed mercury. Tier 3 plates are tier 2 plates and compressed dash. Tier 2 plates are tier 1 plates and compressed meteoric iron. So this should be pretty simple, really. Just make sure the tier 4 boosters, yeah, they're exactly the same. So we go into here and we go plate. So we need these, and then we need compressed. We need meteoric iron, not steel, we need dash. We need carbon and we need mercury. So theoretically, if we just go like you, you, and you. We should be able to make these reasonably easily. It is daytime, it says up at the top, so if I look at nothing, it says daytime up at the top, so I can't go to sleep yet. So those will craft up into tier 2 plates. Tier 2 plates go in here with dash to become tier 3 plates. And tier 3 plates go in here with carbon and mercury to become, that's dash, carbon and mercury to become tier 4 plates. Now I need 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25, 30, 29, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. I need 37 of these plates in total, which shouldn't be ridiculously hard to do. We've got enough tier 2 plates already. We're headed towards getting the tier 3 plates. And it seems pretty self-explanatory. So what I'll do is I'll skip ahead to when we have finished making up all of our plates, which thanks to vein mining has been pretty easy. Okay, so we're halfway through making the dash. So what I'm doing is splitting this up because we finished making the heavy duty plates because they were being made by lots of things. So I'm going to split those up against around multiple different machines now, so that we can start producing these a little bit faster. Might need some more mercury plates, but we have plenty of mercury ore. I just need to process it. Where can we process it? We can process it in an enrichment chamber, which I should have somewhere around here. I might have put it away. No, we definitely have an enrichment chamber around here somewhere. Fusing, crushing. Where did I put my enrichment chamber then? So the enrichment chamber used to be here doing enriching, but it appears to have vanished. Oh, wait a second, is it under factory? No. Sure, I made an enrichment chamber at some point. Enrichment chamber. Enrichment factory. Enrichment factory. There's my lithium enriching factory right freaking there. The one machine I didn't read the name of properly. And what can we smelt you up in? Oh, we can smelt you up in furnaces of assorted varieties. Okay. Not in a redstone furnace though. Smeltery, induction smelter, magma crucible. Magma crucible. I wonder. Ingot cast. Grab a basic hopper, pop it down underneath. There we go, and we can make some more mercury plates in, I would assume, pretty much any of these machines. Ooh. Still need to mend. Oh, those are heavy duty plates, not dash. Accidentally put heavy duty plates in with that instead of dash. Dash. Ah, so we did have exactly the right amount of dash at least. Okay, so you make me mercury plates. Eight and 8, 8 and 8. 10 and 10 and 10 and 10. Okay, so while that's finishing up doing those, what we need to do is we need to have a look at what we need and make it. Tier 4 rocket. Tier 4 rocket requires a Tier 4 nose cone. Require 1, 2, 3, 4 fins. We require a Tier 4 engine, which requires a filter and a button. That will allow us to make a Tier 4 engine. And then it requires 2 boosters, which require orange wool. We don't have any orange dye. Should be able to make orange reasonably easily. If we can get the right kind, if we can get the right kind of dye to appear here. For orange dye. There we go. Oh no, poppy. We only need 2 orange dye anyway, so that's fine. And we can dye 2 wool. We need 2 cans of fuel. That's con, I want can. We have a can of fuel in there, we can grab another one just by blooping our tank over here. And everything's gone quiet, which means we need to set these into the machine up at the top. There we go. And we can make our 2 jet boosters. So we should have the compact carbon. Yes, we do. So 1 filter, 2 filter, and 1 booster, 2 booster. And then we just need 3 more plates and we're done. What do we need for these? Space zinc. Ooh. Can I fake space zinc? A block of space zinc. Can I fake space zinc anywhere? No. I can only get space zinc from space. Ah, well. Worth a go. And now what we should be able to do is over in the tier 4 rocket slot, we should be able to say you, and you, you, and you, tier 4 rocket. So if we go to space and beyond, we still need potash to finish the quest for Mercury. How do I make you into potash? In a basic smasher. Not sure why I need potash, but basic smasher. Okay, so we need 4 compressed mercury and some pistons. Now we're not in a rush anymore. We don't need to be quite so sort of demanding on how fast it mocks up, but yeah. So we've got some tier 3, we've got some carbon, we've got a few mercury plates coming through. It's not too bad. And the basic smasher required a couple more pistons. There we go, basic smasher. Now hopefully this will connect to the power grid. It does. In you go potash. And that should complete our mercury quest. There we go. And that takes us on to a tier 4 rocket, which is to get tier 3 dungeon, NASA, and complete tier 3 rocket, and to get tier 2 launch pads. 25 tier 2 launch pads. Okay. What does the quest say? While exploring Venus and Mercury, you may find a tier 3 dungeon. Okay, so maybe we could have gotten it on Venus? Possibly. It seems that Mercury has more radiation, Venus has the acid rain, but I don't think we could have gotten it from Venus. So let's have a look at the tier 2 launch pad. Tier 2/3 launch pad or tier 2 launch pad. Tier 2 launch pad is compressed titanium and titanium. That shouldn't be too hard. Where does titanium come from? Titanium comes from Immolite, and Immolite comes from... I can't remember what planet Immolite comes from. It's a planet I must have access to, but I can't remember collecting it from anywhere. It might come from the asteroid things, but what I do is I make it in the... make it over there. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so close. Hopefully, I can just smush up 2 titanium to make 2 titanium things. You're still spitting out ingots. Excellent. Got plenty of mercury and carbon. There we go. 2 compressed titanium. And 25 rocket launch pads. There we go. It has acknowledged that. And now it wants us to make preparing for Jupiter. On Jupiter, your tier 4 thermal padding and tier 1 spacesuit won't be of any use. It wants us to make tier 4 and a tier 2 spacesuit. I've already made a tier... How on, like, this thing helps protect from radiation. How on earth would you have done those other planets without the tier 2? Like, I was using tier 2 and I was still getting radiation poisoning. It wants us to make the tier 4 thermal, which we can make. We've already got better, but there's no point in denying it that quest. So we need to make this, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24. And now we should just be able to churn out all of our level 4 thermal. It's just carbon plating and we've been making plenty of that. So there we go. There's our level 4 thermal. We're wearing level 5 thermal. Doesn't matter. Weird types of water. On Circes and Europa you may encounter some weird types of water. Liquid crystal water and radioactive water. Okay. That's fine. And on Jupiter. Jupiter is massive, so of course it'll have something useful. Red gems, palladium and volcanic ingots. So we want the volcanic ingots and we want the liquid crystal water as soon as possible. Because those are the two things that we really need in many ways. So let's go 1, 2, 1, 2. And we're going to rename these. 1 second. I need to just wake up my experience bar because I've been through a dimension. This one is going to be renamed Jupiter, and this one's going to be renamed Circes. Okay, so now we have teleporting charms for Jupiter and Circes that we need to set up. Where are Jupiter and Circes in relation to each other? Circes is just outside the asteroid belt and Jupiter is further out. Okay, so we're definitely going to arrange them in that order in here. So Circes and then Jupiter. Excellent. And what we can do now is set up a new launch pad. I'm assuming it's a 5x5. With just a little thing in the center that pops up to tell you that it's ready. Yeah, we're fueling up. Now the problem is we are very, very high on radiation at the moment. So if we go to those planets, we are probably going to instantly die. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to call the episode here. The next episode, we probably won't be going to the planets. The next episode, what we will probably do is we will probably start working on Evilcraft and getting through Evilcraft towards the quantum physics with blood. We'll also continue down the storage cell quest chain. We've unlocked all of that. We've got all those. We've got all of these. We want to do power from plasma, which seems reasonably easy. So in the next episode we might be doing a few quests and basically just grinding down our radiation level, because at the moment that's the problem, is our radiation level is far too high. We can't actually do anything at the moment because of our radiation level. So what I will do is I will say thank you very much for watching. I have been the Gaming Droid. This has been Modern Skyblock 3. Our radiation level has been completely out of control because it wants to be. It's the only possible sort of reason I can come up with why our radiation level is as out of control as it is. So hopefully it will decide to calm itself down a little bit later on. Bye everybody.